class, it's Christy. I am here to demo layer masks for you guys. Layer masks, once you get it, you got it. But if you don't have it, you definitely don't have it. Like it's a mystery. So I'm here to clarify some mysteries for you guys. Showing you here in Photoshop um, a file that has two layers. One that has these lily pads here, the other that just has like this water hole cover. And you'll notice that whenever you copy an image from somewhere else and paste it into Photoshop, it gives you a new layer. That's how I got these lily pads as a layer in this file. The water hole cover was my original image I opened up. So it covers it though, right? You can't see the layer below it um, unless you were to like rearrange it and move that layer to the top instead of the bottom. But you'll notice these layers, they don't blend automatically, right? They can't read our minds. They don't know how we want these layers to merge together. Instead, Photoshop just does what we tell it to, copy and paste, which gives us our image in a new layer in the top or above the layer we currently have selected when we're copying and pasting. So we're going to use layer masks to blend these two layers using different masking techniques for you today. The first challenge, though, is creating the mask, right? Right now, we just have two regular old copy paste layers here that have been named. In your layers panel, at the bottom of your layers panel, right here, this little button will add a mask to whatever layer you have selected. So the key to masking is to mask the layer above the one that you want to blend. If I were to add a layer mask to this layer, it wouldn't help any because this layer is being covered completely by the one above it, right? So we want to mask the layer above, and we're just going to click this button to add the mask. So the mask, when you add it, is by default white. White means there really is nothing in that mask. It is just added to it. Now, because this layer has two parts, it has the image and it has the mask, you need to make sure that you have selected first the correct part of that layer before you edit it, right? If I want to edit the image, I'm going to click on the image and edit it. If I want to edit the mask, I'm going to click on the mask. So the key to the mask is anything in that mask that is black or various grays, right? Doesn't have to be like solid black, but anything in that mask that is black will allow you to reveal what is in the layer below it. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to grab this very large brush here. This brush is a large, soft brush. I'll make it a little smaller here. Maybe, nah, I'll keep it super soft. And I'm going to paint in the mask. I am not painting the image, you guys. I am painting in the mask black. So you can actually see it's now updated the preview of what that mask looks like now that I've painted black in the mask. And you'll see these areas where I've painted black have revealed what's in the image below. Now, the beauty of masking, it's non-destructive, you guys. I have not deleted pixels from this image up here. You can see the thumbnail right here of this image, it's completely intact. The only thing I've changed is the mask. So if I were to swap colors and go back in and paint with white in my mask, you'll see the opposite is going to happen, right? So the key masking, right? First, make sure you click on the mask first so that you're editing the mask and not painting the image, right? But whatever is black in that mask, right, will reveal kind of like looking through a window, right? It will reveal what is in the layer directly below it. So you can use all sorts of different hardnesses, sizes of brushes, right? Here's a hard brush, right? I'm returning everything back to white, resetting that, right? Go back, change my foreground color, which is the color you're painting with your brush, to black, and then adjusting or changing the mask to reveal what is in the layer below. Pretty cool, right? If I hit undo, if I just use a really large brush and just like click, large hard brush, I'll get a circle, right? If I change this color from black to say gray, we'll pick something somewhere in the middle, and I paint a gray, you can kind of see it's more like a tint, right? Make it an even lighter gray, click in the mask, you'll notice it's more like an opacity, or right? So I have 3 different gray circles here in this mask. Each one is giving you a different level or intensity of masking, making it look like an transparency as opposed to it being like completely opaque. So I'm going to reset this because I want to also show you that you can start with a selection, right? You can make a selection. And I just use my rectangle marquee tool to click and drag and make a quick selection. When you have a selection made and you create the mask, Photoshop will automatically create the mask for you in the shape of your selection. Keep in mind that it keeps what is in the selection white and everything outside of it black when you use that technique. So if you wanted the opposite of that to happen, instead of just keeping this selection the way it is, you can select the inverse of this, right? So under the select pull down menu, I know you can't see the word select, but I'm clicking on the select pull down menu. You click the word inverse and it gives you the opposite of your selection. So now when you create a layer mask, it will create it in the inverse. So another cool tip, right? Whenever you're creating a mask from a selection, you have the option of inverting your selection first before creating that mask. There's also this other really cool technique, and I'm going to, it's a shortcut to creating a layer mask from a selection, but it kind of happens when you're copying and pasting the image. So I'm gonna make this lily pads layer invisible, and then I'm gonna make sure that I'm selecting my water hole cover here layer, because I know that if I have the wrong layer selected when I try and do this, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go over to this other tab here I have open with just my lily pads here. And I'm going to copy the lily pads onto my clipboard. They're just waiting to be pasted now. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to make a selection. I'm going to go ahead and just use my polygonal lasso tool here because it's fun and it allows me to make a selection that's kind of unique. So here I have like this crazy star-like shape selected. Now, if I were to just hit paste right now, just a regular old paste, all it's going to do is give me a new layer with lily pads on it, like this one that already exists. Instead, I'm going to go to the Edit pull-down menu, Edit, and I'm going to do a special kind of paste. It's even called Paste Special, right? So it's not my word, it's their word, special. And I'm going to select this option called Paste Into. And what it means by into is it means it wants to paste the image into the selection. Yes, not just into a new layer, but into my current selection. And when it does that, it doesn't just, I'll expand my layers panel so you can see this. Not only is the image pasted onto a new layer here, but it's pasted onto a new layer and it automatically has a layer mask for that in the shape of my selection. How about that? That's pretty cool. I think that's cool. So a little bit of an advanced technique there for you guys in regards to layer masks that maybe you'll enjoy using someday. I'm going to bring back up my start file here and show you one more thing as it relates to layer masks. And you might have already noticed this happening before, but when you create a layer, I'm clicking on the layer pull down menu, that has a new adjustment layer, right? Any one of these adjustment layers, if you want to adjust the levels, the contrast, the color balance, things like that. I'm going to click on hue saturation just for the heck of it here. I'm going to click, oops, here. I don't want to do that to the bottom layer. I want to do this to my top layer. Hello. So make sure you've selected the correct layer before you do this. Layer, new adjustment layer, hue saturation. I'm just going to click OK. So it gives me this properties panel automatically. This is being applied to all layers below it. I didn't really pay much attention to whether or not I only wanted it applied to the layer directly below it, but that's okay. So notice whenever you add a new adjustment layer, every time you've ever done that, it adds a mask to that new adjustment layer. That's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this layer, do some, I don't know, weird color things to this just to make it different, right? So you can kind of see the difference between what I'm adjusting here. You'll notice it's adjusting the entire layer, right? It's adjusting the entire layer below it, right? If I click on the mask though, and with the mask selected, right? Now, I didn't add this mask here, you guys. It automatically appeared whenever I created this new adjustment layer. I can, and this is kind of wild, I can grab a brush. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and just keep it this really large brush here. And I can use this brush. Actually, you know what? Let me change the color back to black. I can use this large brush to mask in the adjustment, in the adjustment. Isn't that crazy? Right? So anywhere where it's black in that layer adjustment, in the mask for the layer adjustment, it does not apply that color adjustment to that area in the mask. Isn't that wild? I think that's cool, right? I hit undo. I'm gonna grab, say, a different brush, maybe one that's a little softer, a little bigger. I can do things like blend around the edges, right? If I don't want the entire layer to be adjusted with this color, right? I can just apply that layer adjustment to only certain parts of the layer by changing what is masked in the layer. So isn't that wild? I love that. Anyhow, it's always been the case with me where I feel like, I only want this layer adjustment to apply to this part because it's ruining this other part. Well, you can mask that adjustment in the layer mask that automatically appears if you feel like just applying that adjustment to the whole image is not working for you, right? Um, so just some things to think about. Hope you enjoyed.